What's going on, everyone? My name is Stewie, and welcome to Iron Nest. This is a heavy artillery simulator based on alternate history Spain and around the 1920s. Uh, Diesel punk all through and through. We're going to play through the tutorial. I'm going to kind of explain how the game works, and we'll go from there. So let's get to the gameplay. All right. Well, we're in here. Let's get going right into it. Show you around Iron Nest to start. It kind of shows you 1, 2, 3, 4 here. But let me show you around first, and then we'll get into what the tutorial missions are wanting you to do and how to do them well. So here you just have how to operate. You'll get your targeting data from this machine, and we're given some coordinates. Anyway, before we get into that, just real quick. But read, measure, calculate, load, rotate, fire, or elevate and fire. This is the general layout of the Iron Nest. So if we walk up here, this is your prompter. It tells this is where you get all of your missions from high command. Moving on here, the challenge missions. There's challenge missions. This is how you order yourself more ammo or a scout plane flyover, powder charges, whatever you may need to replenish your stock. Currently, at the beginning of your tutorial, you're not going to have access to the right battery, just the left. This is your map, I guess you would say. This is how you'll figure out where targets are and basically get your information needed to generate a fire mission and successfully fire. You're given this. I didn't really use it. You'll use this and that and all that. Anyway, best way to show you is to do it. So let's do it. So if we come over here, our Iron Nest position is in B255. The target is in I533. If we pull this up, we're given this clipboard. This is pulled up with caps lock, or in my case, tab. If you hit caps lock, that brings it up to where it's always viewable. Tab brings it up. If you click this, left click, it'll write it all down to where you can see it in the lower left corner. Now if we're coming here, every click, left click will just drag a line. You can right click to delete. If we come here, this is where Iron Nest is located. So B255, there's this that you can move around. I don't recommend removing this around unless you move, which you won't currently. There's a little nut here that's just chilling on the table. We can move this out of the way. Don't really need that. And our target is located here in I533. You won't get this nice pretty target every single time, but we'll get into that later. Best way to do this, just take this, draw yourself a nice line to I533 from your current position to start this first one, and we're given a bearing and a range. We can remove this older one. All the new ones come out on top, so this is the one we need. You can double check it. 67.5 bearing at a 7.34 kilometer range. All right, so we come off the table, just tap E to do that. We're going to come over here. This is basically your firing ballistic calculator, firing computer, whatever you want to call it. You're going to take this, you're going to rotate it. This is one of the complaints I have. This is a demo. And we're going to round this off till it hits 7.34. There. Every time you go higher than what the charge will allow, the red light will eliminate. Once it's green, that means you're good to fire or use that many charges. So we're given this card. This tells us our elevation needed, and we have our bearing already written here. So to do this, we want to go ahead and load before we start slewing and elevating. So we want to pull this. This rotates your, basically, your cylinder full of shells. And we're going to be firing tear gas, so we're going to load that forward. If you look here on this card, which it might be hard to see, but it means the long one is the shell, and then each individual slot after that is how many powder charges we need. When you generate this on the ballistic computer, it'll give you a number here. That means how many charges you need to drop. So there's 2, and we'll run it home. All right, now we'll come over here and start slewing the gun. Just put tap E on it every time when you get close. This handle here will slew it quickly. This handle on the right is for fine control. So if we slide this to the right, we need to get to 67.5. The further we pull it, the faster we rotate. But note that it takes a second to slow down. It doesn't stop on a dime. See, we overshot. There's our 67.5 entered, and now we're going to come over here. This is for elevation. So we need a 44.04. We're going to drag this up. This does fast. This side does your fine tunes. You're given clipboards at each station. I didn't really use it to begin with, so this is what we got. Alright, so with the handle we managed to get that far, so let's drag this up a little bit further. Alright, 43.93, we need 44.04. There we go, we are locked. Now we're going to come over here. This is your firing station, basically the trigger of the gun. We are going to accept the fire mission, say it's confirmed. We're going to confirm the range, the shell type, bearing, and that the gun is armed. We're going to pull this handle. This closes your blast shield, basically letting everyone know, yourself, because you're the only one here, that the gun is ready, and we're going to pull the big red handle. Down here at the bottom right, we're given a time to impact, so 5 seconds. 2, 1, impact. It's going to give us this cutscene with a scout plane flyover and what the target area looks like. We just peppered that entire area with tear gas. After we're done with this, in this tutorial, we're given basically a newspaper of what we just did. And this one is pretty great. Click this. Monstrous strike on Mercy Ward. We just tear gassed a hospital. Gonna come over here. We're given new orders. This is also going to introduce just another method rather than them giving us the exact coordinates of where we need to fire. This is going to tell us what type of shell we need to fire. And we're going to have to use information from a spotter in order to triangulate essentially where our target is. So we're going to come here. Our spotter is at F692. I like to grab these blue tags to signify that it's a spotter. So F692. We'll drop that there. There's a little arrow on it. I like to use that to put it right there. So we have a bearing, so a 0.82 from spotter 1 and a 10.83 kilometers from spotter 1. Thankfully, since this is a single spotter scenario, we could use one line. So we need to find 0.82 and a distance of 10 kilometers from that spotter. So find 0.82 on your bearing, right about there, and a 10.82 so our target is in Q767 based on this information. Now you have that one line from your spotter. Now you're going to take the second line from your gun and draw it to that target. We have received the new bearing and range down here on the clipboard. We'll press E. We'll come over here to our calculator. We'll go ahead and start spinning, because this is going to be a long range shot. Please remember that this is early access beta during the Steam Next Fest. That's why we might encounter some hiccups here and there. So this is going to require 4 powder charges. We're going to generate that. We're going to come over here to our loading station. We don't need this one. This is AP. We need to fire phosgene gas here. So we're going to load this shell. Calculated powder charges at 4. Pull the handles. And then run it all home. That's going to start elevating. We need to change our rotation to a 70.9. Since we're so close, I'm just using the fine-tune handle. You grab that, you get wonky real quick. So we're locked at 70.9. This is starting to elevate. We need a 47. So we're gonna go way up here. 47.97 on elevation. So they've got some slight issues to work with. It could just be that because I'm recording, so I'll run a little test after I'm done recording to see if I encounter these stutters then. We're locked 47.97. We'll come over here. We'll confirm the fire mission ranging shell type bearing and that the gun is armed. We'll pull the shield down and then we are good to fire. 20 seconds till impact. Come down here and look. Oh, we're doing a really long shot. We'll go ahead and remove these lines so we get a nice clean picture of what it looks like. 2 seconds. Impact. Target's destroyed. Phosgene gas all over that. Good shot. All right. Come over here. Mission successful. I've already noted to them that the successful is misspelled, so ain't gotta worry about that. We're given a new newspaper. Let's come over here. Castile's mechanized wonder. Talking about us, the Iron Nest. Basically a big battleship turret scaled up to like 200% on walking legs. Come back over, check our new orders out. Spotters in the field have transmitted bearings to target. Triangulate the position and fire HE. So this time we're firing HE. This time we're gonna have 2 spotters I'll show you how to discern where your target is going to be from this. We'll left click on it, jot it all down on our clipboard. We'll grab our old spotter tag because we have new spotters now. We're going to find C855. So we got one spotter there. We need H296. H296. All right. This is where people get confused occasionally, but it's actually relatively simple. You're gonna take your one line from spotter 1. It says target 1 is bearing 103 from spotter 1. You're just gonna drag this line all the way out, and then you're gonna find until you hit a 103. You're gonna let go. That's your line 1. Target 1 is bearing 054 from spotter 2. We're now going to find your 054, drag this line out, find a 54. X marks the spot at M671. So now we'll draw a line from our position to where the X marks the spot. With all that, the most recent one is at the top here. We can clear these other ones if we want. So we need to fire on 72.1 bearing with a range of 11.79. To our calculator, we'll adjust our range to 11.79. We only need 3 powder charges, denoted by 1 and 2 having red. We'll pull this. Now, I also forgot to mention, on this one, we're finally given access to the top part of the ballistic calculator. It's not necessary, it just helps everything listed. You basically will pull your shell type, so we need to fire HE, and then our bearing is going to be a 72.1. Big wheel handles fast increments. Small wheel does it small for you. So 72.1 bearing target, that doesn't matter. And now if we pull this, we're given a card that has all relevant information on it. We're gonna come here. We seem to be out of shells. Oh no, what do we do? Well, like it says here, we go to the requisition station here. For every target you destroy, you're given some credits. And we need HE, so we'll grab our card here. We have 90 credits. This only cost us 3. Now we're able to actually choose which magazine we want to load, and we'll just pull the switch there. It kind of like does that thing and does that, and now magically we have an HE round. We're gonna push it forward, and then like before with these handles, we're gonna load 1, 2, and 3 powder charges. This handle here, push forward to send it home. I'm gonna come over here. With the new card on the ballistic computer, it'll also give you basically where you need your turret rotation set to, so your bearing and then your elevation on one card, just to make it a little simpler, to not need to look at each individual little place. It's just one location for all that information. So that's lock 72.1. This is gonna elevate. We need it elevated to 47.16. I recommend do not grab the wheels when they spin very quickly. It will make a lot of racket. All right, so we're locked on 47.16. We're gonna confirm all these. We have HE loaded. We're gonna pull our shield down. This just basically primes it for fire. Pull that. 15 seconds to impact. We're gonna come over here. We can remove our lines now. One impact. Target destroyed. Look at the crater that this thing causes. And that's an HE shell for you. Beautiful. Come over here. Mission successful. We're given yet another newspaper. Run up here and read what it says. It's the same thing as the last one. Castile's Mechanized Wonder, and yeah. Oop. Come over here. We have new missions. Target location is unknown. Find the target using impact recon photos from the battlefield. So we're gonna fire a star shell. Yep, and you can read as well as I can. Once it's found, fire HE. Alright, so we're going to write all this down. We're still not given access to the right side, but we're given plenty of star shells. So let us do this. We need to fire a star shell to L588. So we're just going to drag this here to L588. That'll give us our information there. Go ahead and put this here. Note that as star. Our bearing is the same, 72.1, but this time we need to fire to a 10.82. Beautiful. Pull that. We're given a new fire mission here. We're just going to load our star since it's already on the rack and ready. Pull our 3 handles since we need 3 charges and send it home. With this, we shouldn't need to slew it any since we're already there. So we're going to wait for this to lock in. And elevate. Nice. All right, so we need to elevate to a 43.28. We come bring it just slightly below the 45 and then fine tune it up to 43.28 there. Confirm all that, pull our shield down. It's down and fire. 10 seconds to impact, and then we'll be given reconnaissance photos and then details from there on where our target is. So 2.26 kilometers in this general direction. So if we take a line this general direction to a 2.26, now what you can do is fire directly on one of these positions. So I'm saying K369. Or you can fire another star shell, which we are going to do that. So we now need a bearing of 81 at 9.22 kilometers. 9.22. Locked. We can now use just 2 powder charges. Use this to rotate, load our next star in. We only need 2 powder charges this time. And run it home. Alright, while that is elevating, we can slew. We did not adjust our bearing on our ballistic calculator, so don't follow this. But we did get range, so I need our bearing at 81. We'll use our big handle here to slew quickly, and then slow it down. $81 even, so let's keep going. 81 even. Elevation needs to be a 55. $55.32. Beautiful. Tap, 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 and tap, and pull, and fire. Now, to preempt this, we are going to pull HE and go ahead. We're waiting for this to give a new information. Target is right on where I hit the star shell. So we got to wait for the gun to finish coming down before we're able to load it with the next. We're basically going to leave everything the same and just fire a roundup shot, follow-up shot. Gotta wait for the breach to open. We're gonna fire, send this home. Pull our 2. Send those home. And now we're just gonna wait for this to finish its sequence of closing the breach and then getting back up to elevation before we fire our follow-up shot. Beautiful. 55.32 elevation. Click, 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 and click. Pull this and fire. HE shot outbound. Clear our lines. Impact. Target's been destroyed. Good work. Mission successful. Now we'll be given another newspaper. I'm just skipping that to save on time. Oh, you can actually just skip that and watch as it falls. Railways overwhelmed. Public order to march on foot. And now we're given our new mission. I don't know what that handle does, but we'll see. Now we have 2 batteries out in the field. But we do not know where they are. We've got to use star shells to locate them. We have bearings from spotters for the artillery 1, but then we need to find battery 2 using star. So enemy artillery, excuse me, spotter 1 is located at D810. So D810. Alright, grab that one. And spotter 2, I have the numbers backwards. It's gonna bug me, but once we fire on artillery 1 and destroy it, we're gonna have a time limit on firing on battery 2, locating and firing on battery 2. Spotter 2 is located in I-275. So I-275, we're gonna do the same thing we've done before. Artillery 1 is bearing 087 from spotter 2. Draw this all the way out until you hit 087. Okay. Spotter 1 is bearing 113. So drag this all the way out till we hit 113. Artillery 1 is located in P238. So now we're going to drag our line from our location to P228, given that information right here. We're also given access to the right here, so what we're going to do is on this calculator, star range is, so excuse me, bearing is 88.6, star range is 13.74. Match charged amounts. We're gonna load HE in this one, but we're also gonna order a star shell for the right side, the right battery magazine, and then we're actually gonna order multiple since we might need. That'll always swap back to the left, so make sure you're not incidentally loading into the wrong. Then do the same thing over here. I will say this side's a little harder to hit E on, so you're just doing this by hand without. The reason why we're doing this is since we don't have a location of the enemy 2 artillery, we're gonna fire both an HE to destroy enemy artillery number 1 and the star to locate enemy artillery number 2. So let's slew. We need to slew at a 88.6. Locked, and I like to link them. They unlink every time you fire, so you'll go through all this again. But let's go ahead and drag this up so we can get both of them moving. That's just to show you what happens whenever you stop it abruptly. 54.96. Since they're linked, they'll match up. Fire mission confirmed. Ranging confirmed. Shell type confirmed. Bearing confirmed. Gun is armed. We're gonna pull down both of our handles. And now fire. Those are like safeties, just basically. 15 seconds to impact. We need to be ready because once the star hits, we'll see it destroyed, but then we'll also be given a distance and arrows to show basically where 8.06 from that target. .06. Now, what the red light means is we're taking fire from this other artillery position. So now we've got to be quick. So we're gonna fire onto this position here, H326. We're gonna fire both an HE and a star. So the same loadout as before. So we need to throw an HE into our right battery. Or our left battery, excuse me. Left magazine, throw an HE into it. We need to do this again. So we're at a range of 5.78 kilometers. .78. We only need 2. Bearing to target is 78.5. Calculate. Load our HE shot. Just 2. Make sure we remove that one so we don't get confused. We need to load this one, the star, excuse me. You should technically work on loading the right one first. I assume that they're both locked before they load, but then once you get them locked, you can't, like, they have to come back down once you link them together. While we're waiting on that, we can 78 overshot. 78.5, that's that. I'll link these two. We only need a 34. Roughly there. Turn this on, 34.68. There we go, locked. You can hear the shells flying at us. Put our safeties, fire. 5 seconds to impact. We'll be given new information once this hits. So we were close. Our target's actually here, where this red diamond is. So now we'll need updated information. And we'll have to be quick about it. Bearing at a 74. Don't have to do this. It's just helpful. 74.2 distance at a 6.01. 2. Grab that. We need to purchase an HE shot. Does not matter where. We'll just buy it for the left side. HE's round is ready. Send that. Slew to 74.2. Gonna go ahead and stop that in terms of quickness because that just likes to have a mind of its own. 74.2. That we need to load our powder charges. Send them home. Now once this clears, we need a 36.06. This always seems to be the choppiest part, doing this part. 36.06. Locked. Everything is confirmed. Safety's off. Fire. 5 seconds to impact. Target destroyed. Beautiful. High Command, Iron Nest, mission successful. Well done. I believe that, my friends, is, the end of the tutorial. Get our newspaper. Germany declares war. All Europe is in arms. And that completes our tutorial. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments. I would appreciate you liking and potentially subscribing to this. Like I said before, this is a demo version during Steam's Next Fest, so all of this could change. Take that and run with it, I guess. So we'll see you next time. I appreciate you, and have a good one.